On September 2, 1980, a distressed woman arrived at the police station in Biała Podlaska to report that she was the victim of a vicious and sickening attack. The woman, who was from the Soviet Union and lived in Moscow, entered Poland to visit a friend and to go shopping in Warsaw. The woman stated that on August 30, a few minutes after midnight, she exited the train and crossed the bridge over the Kushno River when she heard footsteps behind her. A tall man wearing a long coat stopped her. "Do you live here?" he asked. Before the woman could even answer, the man grabbed her by the neck and choked her until she passed out. The woman woke up, lying in dense bushland near the river. She was naked from the waist down, and her clothing was scattered around the area. She crawled to a nearby house, recovered, then reported the attack. An investigation was underway for the perpetrator. However, due to the darkness and the woman not knowing her attacker, it was difficult for police to develop any leads. On September 17, 1980, a 24-year-old student from the Lublin Medical University named Mariola was spending her holidays with her parents in Międzyrzec, Podlaski. She left a note for her parents saying that she was going for a walk, but as hours passed, she failed to return home. The next morning, a farmer tending to his cows near railroad tracks discovered the naked body of Mariola. She had been raped and then strangled to death with her own scarf. Disturbed dirt indicated that she had fought for her life. Police immediately linked the murder with the previous attack due to the close proximity and time frame. 12 men were questioned, but they were all cleared of involvement, and the person responsible remained at large. On October 16, 1980, a 14-year-old girl named Dominika went with a friend to church in Biała Podlaska at 5:45 p.m. While her mother always reminded her to come straight home and to not talk to strangers, the teenager failed to return. The next morning, the girl's body was found in a dumpster, just a few hundred meters from her house. She had been raped, then strangled to death. A woman who lived near the scene recalled seeing a tall man wearing a long coat. However, due to the fog, she was unable to see his face. Police arrested a man who was a patient at a nearby mental health clinic, as he had blood on his pants that was the same blood type as Dominika's. Believing they finally had their man, police were able to rest until a few days later when 2 more attempted rapes were reported in Biała Podlaska. Both women recalled being followed by their attacker previously. One of the women caught a glimpse of the man's face under the streetlight. She described him as being in his 30s. She explained that a creak of a door startled the attacker, who fled, thus saving the woman's life. The other attack was interrupted by a passing car. Another attack occurred in November. With 6 horrifying attacks seemingly linked, women refused to leave home without a companion. They rushed through the streets and avoided isolated areas. In order to settle the nerves, the police compiled a list of 41 potential suspects who either resembled the attacker or had previously been arrested for rape. One man even confessed to the crimes, but it was found that he was lying. Almost every attack had occurred close to railroad tracks or the train station. Police believed the man to be a resident of Biała Podlaska or a nearby town, and was a railroad worker or travelled frequently by train. On January 12, 1981, a woman named Grażyna from Tiraspol parted with friends and was making her way home when she was approached by a tall man wearing a long coat. He asked for directions, then grabbed her neck with one hand and covered her mouth with the other. This time, the woman fought back. She bit the man's finger, causing the man to scream in pain before he fled. The woman chased her attacker and stopped a police car to report the attack. The officer told the woman to get in the car and help him search. A few minutes later, they spotted a man walking quickly while clutching his hand. The woman pointed out that this was the man who attacked her. Police pulled over and apprehended the attacker. The man known as the Vampire of Podlaski had finally been captured. He was Julian Kołtun, a 30-year-old railroad worker who lived in Podlaski, and was married. He had a troubled upbringing in Warsaw. His mother died when he was 15, and he was often beaten by his father and older siblings. He had a criminal history consisting of theft and burglary, and spent 5 years in prison for rape. The police profile fitted Julian Kołtun perfectly. He would come home late. His wife believed he was having an affair and had no idea she was married to a vicious serial rapist and murderer. Items of the victims were found in the apartment. The trial took place in 1982. The courtrooms were often packed with residents who jeered at the accused as he entered and exited the building. Psychiatrists found that Julian Kołtun had a deep hatred towards women, but found no signs that he suffered from a mental illness. Kołtun rarely spoke to his lawyer and appeared motionless throughout the trial. He was unmoved as the families of his victims gave testimony. On August 1, 1982, the jury found Julian Kołtun guilty of all crimes. The vampire of Podlaski was sentenced to death and was executed by hanging at the Mokotów prison in Warsaw.